Hello and a very warm welcome to this week's Scene on Scene. I'm Steve Brennan. Now then, I think I can promise you a great deal from this week's programme. As you know, we've had home cooking on the show before, but the food we're scrutinising a little later is by award-winning chef Richard Manzano of Alfonso's restaurant in Cookham Rise. In the meantime, here is the rest of this week's menu for Scene on 7. We drop in at the May Festival at Lambton Park in Hounslow for some great sunshine. Tesco's National Fun Run also happened in a park, this time Upton Court Park in Slough. We were there. We also pay a visit to the brand new TA Centre in Slough. Tony O'Rourke is the reporter. And in his own inimitable style, Terry Adlam looks at what hot and what is not in Terry Vision. It's also my privilege to welcome the Mayor of Slough, Sheila Thorpe, to the studio. We'll be talking a little later. If you're anything like some of the staff around here, you'll have been taking advantage of the unusually hot weather over the May Bank holiday. Several thousand went to the May Day Festival at Lambton Park, Hounslow. Among them was our film crew, and Samita and Russ.
Hello, we're at the biggest open-air festival to be held in West London, and it's held here in Lambton Park in Hounslow every year on May Day. And the theme this year is quite aptly described as the International Year of the Family.
And that's why we're here. WMtv are here to find out more about the Year of the Family. Samita, you go your way, I'll go my way.
See you later.
Ta-ta. Hail, John. I'll go this way.
So Sally, it's a great day today. How do you feel about it? Are you pleased?
Wonderful. It's marvellous. There's loads of people here, thousands of people here. The weather's gorgeous. Everything's worked.
It's worked out
It's
great.
really good.
Yeah. How long does this sort of event take to organise?
Months. This is since before Christmas this time. I've been working on it since January, and it's been going on a couple of months before then.
Exhausting, I bet.
Yeah, very.
It's well worth the effort.
Very much so. Everyone's enjoying it.
Not quite. What are you doing, man? Yes! One more push, can he do it?
There's loads to do here today. You follow me, I'll show you something. You can win some cuddly toys.
And it's a great fun fair.
You can even have a go at testing your own strength.
Right one, here we go.
Give it another go.
Right two, one more.
Miss it. Well, thanks very much, mate.
That's all right.
Cheers.
Have you enjoyed yourself today?
Yes, we have actually.
It's been a
Yeah,
good
my son
day.
certainly has.
That's great. What does the International Year of the Family mean to you? That's the theme of the festival, isn't
I didn't know it was.
So it just means getting everyone together, and it's a family event. But you've enjoyed
We've
yourself.
had a lovely time as a family. Yes, he's won all kinds of
Brought
things.
your kids with you, yeah?
Yes.
Yeah?
I don't know where he is. He's probably playing hoopla or something.
So what was your favourite event?
I think we like Carter's Steam Fair the best. He does anyway.
So
And the favourite event, I suppose, is the hoopla. That's where he's been winning all these things.
Well, you're enjoying the food, obviously.
Food, yeah, it's excellent. Music's good.
Yeah.
It's just good to see so many people around, you know, different classes, cultures, everything, all
Yeah.
mixing. You can learn a lot.
Well, the theme's actually the International Year of the Family. Do you think that's been shown in the festival?
It could have been shown more, I think, really. Yeah, if you looked for it, you could find it. But I think it's an important issue. It could be more prominent, I think, really.
Right. What's been your favourite event?
Favourite event? I haven't got on my favourite event. It's the thing that spins around, you know, and you stick to the side.
What's going on?
They were charging 50p people to look at that going on.
Well, have fun. Enjoy your food.
Thank you very much.
See you later.
Thank you.
Bye. Thanks a lot.
Tell me, what have you enjoyed most about today, you two?
Basically everything, the atmosphere,
The weather?
weather, brilliant weather.
Got a bit of sunburn.
Sorry?
And have you tried any of the grub?
Not really,
yet,
no,
no.
wait, no. I might later on though.
Right. Tried any of the alcoholic beverages?
Definitely.
Anyone?
And you enjoyed
two.
yourself? With me now, I have John Carter, who's the proprietor of Carter's Fun Fair. Tell me, John, how long has Carter's Fun Fair actually been founded?
It's been going just under 20 years. We originally started as show promoters, and we just bought the galloper, you know, the steam galloper in the fair, and it's just billowed up from that.
What would you say is the appeal of Carter's Steam Fun Fair?
Well, the modern fairs have got a very hard edge to them now, very hard. And this one's got the old-fashioned soft edge. It appeals to families. We don't overtly go out to cater for teenagers, but we do cater for them, if you know what I mean. It's a softer edge than most fairs.
How long, John, does it take to set up for one day's work?
We can travel this fair opening 2 days every week, which is what we do all season. And we get 1 day off a week if we're lucky, as long as it doesn't rain. That answers the question.
Well, you pray for weather like today, I suppose.
Oh, it's lovely. For months, isn't it? We've just had about 10 wet fairs on the trot, so this is a real pleasure.
How many staff do you actually employ?
That varies from fair to fair, but with great difficulty. It's very difficult to get staff now.
Okay, and how many rides do you actually have?
At the maximum of my own families, but with my tenants, it can be as high as 8.
John, thanks very much.
Pleasure.
We've had a wonderful time here at the Hampton Park May Day Festival, and it's highlighted the year in a family. Samita?
Hi, Ross. I'm still here. I've had enough of this hanging around. I'm going.
All right, lovely. See you later.
Woo!
Would you let him loose on your barfly equipment? I don't know. Thank you, guys. The weather was fantastic, and apart from a few idiots who had to cause trouble later on in the day, it was a huge success. Congratulations to the organisers and also to the police. My first guest this week is Andrea Orchard of Foster Care. Andrea, welcome to the studio. Hello. What are your main responsibilities with regard to fostering?
I work for Berkshire County Council Social Services Department and coordinate fostering and adoption services across the county, and part of that involves recruitment initiatives to try and get more foster carers.
It's a huge brief when you're looking for these carers. What sort of qualities should foster carers have?
Well, mainly a sense of humour, because they're pretty testing, some of the children that we place. Yes, lots of patience and understanding, obviously a great love of children, and an understanding of how it might feel to be separated from your own family and need some temporary looking after.
It's a big step, foster caring. What should people consider before they even take on the idea of becoming a foster parent?
Their own lifestyle needs to be secure and settled. If they're going through a particular crisis, it wouldn't be a good time to take on extra stress. But carers can be single people or married people with their own children or not with their own children. So their life circumstances can vary, but they need a settled lifestyle.
What are the main requirements actually for the children who need fostering? I mean, they've got special requirements. What are they?
Well, if we think about our own life experiences, mainly having started in a family situation, and us being taken away from that family situation, the children need a lot of understanding about how it might feel to be away from their families. They may be away because mum's temporarily in hospital or there's some temporary family difficulty, but sometimes it means them being away longer than that, and sometimes the children will have experienced neglect or abuse at home.
So therefore some of them are actually children who've been taken into care?
Yes.
And what's the average age? I mean, is there an average age of these children?
Children needing foster care do range from 0 to 17 really, and we do have children in all age bands across that. We're particularly interested to recruit carers for children aged 10 plus and children who are in early teens, mid-teens.
Where the children are let's say 10 plus, or from that point of view, in their teens a little later, towards 17, as you suggest, does that pose special for the foster carer, because they've actually become whole people, they've actually developed and they've got their own set ideas? So asking another family to take it, that must cause some problems.
Yes, I think the parents must be very secure in their own parenting style, and particularly enjoy working with adolescents, because they're not going to replace their own mum and dad. The children at that stage aren't looking for a replacement mum and dad, but they're looking for responsible adults in their lives who can help them, put them on the path towards independence.
I mean, the old adage is that nobody teaches you how to become a parent. That must be particularly applicable to foster carers. Yes,
foster carers are some amazing people, though, from all walks of life, and they need all of the skills of ordinary parenting and an extra bit more, because foster care is challenging. It involves not only working with the children, but also working with their own parents, helping us to help the parents to look after the children themselves, and also working with people like me, social workers, who don't always get good press.
Well, I mean, undeservedly, I have to say, in most cases. Is there an upper age limit for anyone who may consider becoming a foster carer?
No, not as such, but all our foster carers will have to provide us with a report from their GP, and obviously they need to be medically and physically able to cope with the stresses, but there isn't an upper age limit as such.
In the press a little while ago, there was some concern about foster carers who may smoke. Is that a consideration?
It is a consideration for very young children under 2, or children who suffer from asthma. Smoking is not a bar to foster care, but obviously we need to put the needs of the children first, and there are children for whom it would be medically inadvisable to be placed in a household where there are smokers.
National Foster Care Week has just been and gone in April. Have you had much feedback from that?
We had a lot of publicity in and around Berkshire in local newspapers and radio, and we had some road shows in main shopping malls and supermarkets. What we know is that people who come forward for fostering have been thinking about it for years, and it isn't just one trigger that sparks it off. There may be people listening to this programme today who think, yes, it's about time we did something, but the odds are they've been thinking about it for years. So we did have some inquiries as a result of Foster Care Week, but we expect them to be steady and slow. Yeah,
it's a long thought-out process,
yes,
isn't it?
We find that people who come forward just on the spur of the moment are unlikely to see it through.
If anyone is considering taking on this responsibility, and I should add it is a responsibility, what sort of people would be specially beneficial to you, and what should they do in the first instance?
Well, you're reaching people in Maidenhead and Windsor. We're particularly short of foster carers in this area for all age groups. We're very short of carers, particularly in Windsor. Berkshire is a multicultural society, and we are keen to hear from the Muslim community, Sikh and Hindu community, from the Asian and African Caribbean population, but really carers for all age groups in this area.
They'd just be very, very welcome.
Yes.
The numbers for Slough and Maidenhead, we're going to put those on our moving magazine service. That'll be available to people 24 hours a day. Andrea, thank you very much indeed for your help, and thanks for coming in.
Thank you. Pleasure.
Thank you. A furious row has ended in a court case at Slough County Court. What about, you may ask? Had some hideous crime been committed? You'd think so, by the publicity this case has generated. So be amazed, be astonished. I speak of the Village Greens cricket team at Jordan's in Buckinghamshire. Cricket has been played on the green for 70 years and more, but Mr. David Lacey, whose home is adjacent to the green, has had enough of cricket balls raining from the sky directly into his garden. The law is currently on Mr. Lacey's side. Cricket is banned from the location at the moment, and indeed until nets over 30 feet high have been erected. The almighty row further escalated when Mr. Lacey was allegedly offered a symbolic cup of arsenic by club members. Very subtle. Of course, it wasn't full of arsenic. The gesture was symbolic, but quite understandably, he was very upset. It does, however, beg the question that while I'm sure everyone has some sympathy for the gentleman, aren't there things in life that are more deserving of such extensive press coverage? For example, the situation in Bosnia or Rwanda, for example. Tesco's have sponsored the recent fun run at Upton Court Park in Slough, and ever eager to show kids in a positive light, our cameras and Will Kinder went along.
Well, it's a beautiful day in Upton Court Park here in Slough, and the event taking place behind me is the Tesco National Children's Fun Run. And as you can see, there are hundreds and hundreds of kids already lining up for the 2 3/4 mile course. We're going to be chatting with the celebrities, talking to the kids and finding out what's going on here.
Right, morning again, ladies and gentlemen. Welcome to Upton Court Park and the Tesco National Fun Run. This is the 6th time the event's been held, and the 3rd time we've been here in Slough.
So this is the Tesco National Children's Fun Run, and the thing that strikes me about kids these days is they probably spend a lot of their time in front of the TV and the video games, and they're not into fitness all that much. I mean, what do you think about that?
Well, I know some of them spend a lot of time on video games and whatnot, but I still think quite a few are out, and a day like this is perfect for it. Hopefully they'll all enjoy themselves today and want to do it a bit more.
And you going to actually have a run today?
Yeah, I think I'll go for a little run round.
Wait for it. Right, away you go.
The Tesco National Children's Fun Run is trying to encourage youngsters to take part in a fun and enjoyable environment in an athletic event. It has the facility to be able to provide for children to be able to go on a 2 3/4 mile run, which is what they've done today. But hopefully at the end of the day, a lot of these children will be sponsored and they will be raising money for charity. But I hope that it will be many, many thousands of pounds.
Mark, tell us first of all, a 5th place in the Lilyhammer Winter Olympics. I mean, was that a pleasing result for you?
It was pleasing, but at the same time, a little disappointing. You know, I think we expected a medal, had a really good season. You know, we picked up a medal in the European Championships. We were sort of ranked 3 in the world before going to the Olympics. And I just think on the day we let ourselves down. You know, we're not performing as well as we should do.
So turning to the day now, the Tesco National Fun Run, is it quite an important thing for you to turn up and take part of?
Yeah, I think it's very important. I mean, the Sports Day Foundation, they support me and have done for many years. It's a very, very important, I don't know if it's a charity or a trust, but, you know, people that are involved in sport now tend to spend most of their time training for sport, competing to be the best in the world, and they need all the financial help and the Sports Day Foundation help that possible.
Gil, you've got 2 very important functions here today. First of all, for the first aid cover for the fun run. What sort of things are you providing today?
Right, well we provide cover for the run itself, and we've got the ambulance here in case we have any serious injuries, which hopefully we won't. We're mainly deal with cuts and bruises. We've had 1 or 2 grazes this morning, and we just deal with those as they come along. But we're equipped to deal with more serious injuries if we need to.
And how many first aid stations are there around the course?
Right, we've actually only got the 1 station here today because it's only a short run, and we've got something like 6 static members here. That's first aiders on the ground, plus the vehicle and crew.
I was mentioning 2 important reasons. Now, the first aid is a very important reason here today, but of course the St John's Ambulance are a beneficiary from today's race, aren't they?
Yes, we are, yes.
Is the St John's Ambulance entirely funded by charitable donations?
Yes, we are, and from collections from members of the public as well.
So today's event is going to be quite an important fundraiser for you?
Yes, certainly it will be.
Well, most of the runners are home now, and with me I have the guys who came in first and second. First it was Robert Dean from Tame. Hi, Robert.
Hi.
And also second, Brian Burney from Wexham. Hi. Now tell me, I mean, any of you 2 professional runners? It was a good run for you.
No, not really.
No?
Never.
What about you, Robert? I mean, do you do anything for the school or anything like that?
Yeah, I run for the school. I do get 100 metres normally for the school.
And do you normally do pretty well for that?
Yeah.
What about you, Brian?
Well, I used to run for the school about a year ago and I just gave it up.
What do you do now? Anything?
Play football and that's really about it.
Just football?
Yeah.
With me now is our first lady through the finish line, and also Yvette Haig, our orienteer. Caroline, you're the first lady through. Congratulations.
Thank you.
Very pleased.
Yes.
Tell me, do you run professionally or for your school or anything like that?
I run for my school and Aylesbury Vale Athletic Club.
And what sort of running and races is that you're taking part in?
800 metres and 1,500 metres.
And is this your first lady, or have you been pretty successful before?
First lady.
Well done. And also Yvette, our orienteer, didn't get lost. Funny joke. But you didn't break sweat, did you?
No, I'm perfecting the art of crossing the finish line.
There was no sweat and you weren't even out of breath.
Enjoyed it. Yeah, we have
Well, thank you for taking part, and well done, Caroline. Congratulations on a wonderful win. This is Penny Brown, and she is the very first brownie through the finish, aren't you, Penny? Now, tell me, how old are you?
7.
And which brownie troop are you from?
6.
And they were running as the Farnham and Hedgley district, weren't they? You know, are there lots of brownies running?
Yeah.
You're the first one through. That's pretty good. Were you out of breath?
Yeah.
This is Fiona and Claire. They're the very first guides through the finish line. And so, pretty good race. What sort of position do you reckon you came in at?
20th, around about there.
About 20th, about 30. That's pretty good going. So do you reckon that by being in the guides you're like extra fit because of all the activities you do?
Yeah, definitely.
What sort of things you do in the guides?
Canoe, go abseiling.
Abseiling?
Yeah.
Oh,
Swimming, skiing, and go on camp. Yeah, this is really fun.
So, 750 runners and 2 3/4 miles later, the Slough Fun Run is at an end. All the money raised not only benefits the St John's Ambulance, but also the Sports Aid Foundation. If you ran in the Fun Run today, don't forget to get your sponsorship money back to Tesco's as soon as possible.
Great deal of money raised for charity on that event. Well done. Well done all of you that took part. By the way, the youngest competitor in that event was 14 months old. Amazing. I don't know how they ran the whole distance, but that's what it says here. By the way, I didn't see Will Kinder in his shorts. Perhaps it's just as well. Time for a break now. Stay tuned to Channel 7, where still to come we meet the very popular Mayor of Slough, Sheila Thorpe, Terry Adlam and co. Find out who you think should be the next James Bond, and a feast fit for a king, prepared by the Prince of the Kitchen, Richard Manzana. This is WMTV.
Oh, you come with the sun, you come when it rains, through big city streets and small country lanes. Come in to help me whenever you can. Oh, you come if you're rich, you come if you're poor, 'cause everyone's welcome through my door. So won't you come and help me, whoever you are.
Welcome back. You're watching Scene on 7. It's 27 minutes past the hour. Now then, crime is once again the subject of update, but this time it's crime with a difference. Heathrow Airport was the scene for a well-organised thief with a taste for style underwear to carry out a daring raid at the United Airlines cargo warehouse. A man in his 40s calmly walked in, produced false collection documents, and then loaded up 6 tons of these. Yes, £263,000 worth of boxer shorts made of silk. I've heard of the odd item disappearing from the washing line, but this is, quite frankly, this is ridiculous. These boxer shorts are exclusive to the Tyre Rack chain of stores and cannot be sold legally anywhere else. The company's insurers have offered a £5,000 reward for their recovery. It's suspected that the man who drove away in a white Ford cargo lorry was a former airport employee. The date was the 22nd of April, that was a Friday, at about 7:40 in the evening. So if you were in the area, or you've been offered these boxer shorts on the cheap, please contact Detective Constable George Pierce at Heathrow Police Station on the following phone number 081 897 7340. Remember, there's a £5,000 reward for the right information, and please don't try any jokes about a brief call or similar. They've heard them all, and all they want to do is get to the bottom of it. Now then, Her Majesty the Queen is often in Windsor. In case you don't know, she's got a rather large home there. But she also visited recently Windsor Boys' School. The school was founded earlier this century and became comprehensive in 1977. Her Majesty visited the school recently. These are Meridian Broadcasting pictures. We're very grateful to them. The school has 800 pupils, and all of them enjoyed Her Majesty's visit to the premises. Thank you very much, Meridian, for those pictures. Now then, the announced reductions in the armed forces have caused alarm and some despondency nationwide. So it may surprise you to know that a new TA, that's Territorial Army Centre, is now open in Slough. Our very own action man, well, he looks like action man, is Tony O'Rourke with this report.
You horrible little viewers, you. This week we're down at Slough TA at Learmon's house.
It's a signal honour that the commanding officer pays me tonight to invite me to unveil the plaque to the Learmont House. I appreciate it enormously, Barry, and I've now a great pleasure in opening this tribute.
How does it feel to have a house named after you?
Quite extraordinary. It came as a great surprise to me. I was told about it about 6 weeks ago, and it is obviously a tremendous honour. I've been very privileged with the Honorary Colonel of 2 Wessex, and for the battalion to name this new TA centre after me is really a great honour. I'm very thrilled.
Playing devil's advocate, there's been a certain rivalry down the years between the TA and the regular army. Could you put us right on that one?
Well, there may have been when I first joined the army 42 years ago, but I would say that that doesn't exist in today's army. And as the military, regular military strength reduces, the reliance on the TA therefore becomes even greater. And the TA are a tremendous insurance policy for the country against very small regular forces. We now have a one army concept, and we accept and expect the TA to do all that the regular army does. I think the days that you're talking about are long since past.
Second Lieutenant Tom Magner, you're involved with the children in the TA. Tell us about that.
Yes, we are looking for children between the 18 years of age who are looking for adventure. We're looking for outing in the weekends, going to Isle of Wight and various other activities during the weekends.
These are cadets, are they?
They are cadets, yeah. They are male and female, and we really want to show themselves off. Come and see me on Tuesday, and I'll put them on the right track. We've got lots and lots of activities to cover, and I'm sure that anybody who wants to look for the outing, they will come and see me.
Private Janet Upton. That thing's not loaded, is it?
It could be.
What's a lovely young lady like yourself doing in the TA? What are you doing here? What do you do?
Well, I'm trained as a standard 2 signaller and enjoying every moment of it, basically.
Why did you get into the army?
Something very different, and I'm glad I did.
Why?
Well, I've made lots of new friends, learned a lot of new skills.
Like?
And, well, learned how to fire a weapon, learned all about nuclear biological warfare, first aid, map breathing, all sorts of things. It's been really good.
What do you do when you're not doing this?
Well, when I'm not doing this, usually I'm preparing my kit for the next weekend. But I work, obviously, as an administrator for Panasonic, but this does take up an awful lot of my time, but I do enjoy it.
So what do your friends and your family think about this?
Well, my parents are obviously quite proud, and my friends, at first they were quite interested, but I think they're just growing used to it now. I mean, they're a bit envious at first, but now they're used to it.
Today we hear that there are more redundancies in the army, but yet here we are tonight opening a new TA centre.
Crazy, isn't it? But the Colonel actually said the right thing. We do need more people in the TA. It seems criminal that we've got more wars than women in this world, and here we are cutting the army down. So promoting the TA is the only way forward, isn't it?
I believe you're quite handy with a laser gun, is that right?
It's called I think it's a tank destroyer, and it's run by laser. And when I came here in the summer and tried it out, I actually beat the soldiers here, so I'm quite pleased about that. But apparently I'm now on their reserve list. So yeah,
Mr. Mayor, Councillor Mike Scott, have you been in the military yourself?
No, I'm afraid I haven't served. I was a little bit too young to go in for national service, and being a coward, I haven't volunteered for anything other than the Cubs.
Right, you've done a bit of square bashing in your time.
Yes, I did. Yes, that was some time ago. I did try for a little while, but decided to pursue a political career instead of a part-time military one.
Do you think that the TA sometimes get forgotten?
Yes, most definitely they do. I think they're very necessary, and 2 world wars have proved how necessary they are. And I think it's a shame that people don't put a little bit more interest behind it, but hopefully this is something we can redress now.
And you have been addressing that in Windsor recently?
Yes, we have. In Windsor, we have given the freedom of the Royal Borough of Windsor and Maidenhead to our Windsor TA unit, which is the Berkshire Yeomanry Sea Squadron. And we had a marvellous celebration last Saturday where they marched through the town with their drums and guidons and bayonets fixed, and a nice, I suppose, a nice ceremony in the Guildhall at the end of the march past.
What's that all about?
This is a ghillie suit.
A what suit?
A ghillie suit.
A ghillie suit?
So,
right.
It was originally from the stalkers of the deer in Scotland, developed it. It enables you to hide a lot better. It breaks up your outline, enables you to hide in the bushes for stalking up to your targets.
Right. So you can crawl through the bushes without being seen.
That's the idea, sir.
I'll have to get one of them. I'm really getting into this now. I'm really starting to live the part. This is Tony O'Rourke from WMtv at the TA Centre in Slough.
A lot you can say about that, really, is there? Thank you, Tony. My next guest, we're delighted to welcome to the studio, has already appeared on the programme in many of the stories we've covered, especially over the last 7 months. Hardly surprising, really, as she's the Mayor of Slough. A very special welcome, then, to Sheila Thorpe. Hello, Sheila.
Hello.
And welcome to the studio. We've finally got you here. And ironically enough, almost at the end of your term of office, it finishes on, I think it's the 19th of May.
Yep, my birthday.
On your birthday, very special day.
Special day.
Are you sad about the end of your term of office?
In a way, yes, but there's an awful lot left to do, and I mean, I'm still an elected member of the council, I'll probably have quite a nice job after. So, yeah.
Advisor to the next mayor.
Advisor to the next mayor, probably, yeah.
I think it's fair to say that you've quite an unusual style of mayoral office, haven't you, really?
Yeah.
Very popular, hugely popular mayor.
What I've tried to do is make it more open. The reason being is people didn't seem to be able to approach the mayor. And what I wanted to do is make sure that people found that we were normal. We were just like they are. We don't have horns. And I just wanted to make everybody aware that we are just normal people.
Well, I think you've certainly achieved that from
I hope so. I hope so.
You've attended loads and loads of functions, both official and unofficial this year. Roughly how many?
About 1,400 probably, official and unofficial. Because what happens is you get a diary sheet. They bring this diary sheet out on a Friday evening, and then during the course of the week, and the weekend in particular, they add to it. So you never know, you could be doing sort of 40 or 50 functions in one week and then sort of 100 the next. You know, you never know where you are. But what I try and do now is day-to-day business, because it's easier to do it day by day. Then I know where I'm going.
Very enjoyable, obviously.
Oh, it's
the majority of these must have been very enjoyable. Have there been any that's perhaps not even as enjoyable, but let's say memorable moments in the last year?
The biggest one was the Ackley murder.
Right.
To walk into that town hall on a Monday morning, to face every single part of the media you could think of, was just, it was just horrendous. And to find out why they were there and the reasons behind it.
Because, of course, you didn't know until you went...
I didn't know until I actually went into the town hall at 8:30 that morning. And it was just horrendous. I mean, but it sort of made me aware of what the media can and can't do.
You're finding out today as well.
Yes.
Any other highlights during the year, other memorable moments, let's say more light-hearted moments?
Light-hearted ones, well, obviously the Gunge Tank has got to be the classic.
I think we all remember the Gunge Tank.
I don't think there are any other mayors that have actually been in a Gunge Tank. But to
refresh our memory.
Well, we done it at Harry's Bar, and we raised £1,250 that night. And somebody even paid £50 to pull the lever, would you believe? And it certainly wasn't Mike, my husband. But yeah, we raised a lot of money. It was good fun. And if I told you I didn't get home till 3 o'clock, you can imagine what it was like. We actually had a good drink afterwards, and it was good fun.
Good for you. The human face of the mayoral office.
That's right.
Has Mike enjoyed this year as much as you?
Yeah, I think he has actually. He's been able to get out on a lot of sporting outings. He loves his sport. I'm actually suffering with my voice at the moment because I was at Slough Town on Monday shouting.
Did it do any good?
Yes, they won.
Oh, amazing.
So
that's a first.
No, it's not. No, it's not. No, come on. Let's be fair. No, Slough Town are going to stay in the Conference League. I can assure you of that.
Good for them.
No, but I'm very proud of the town, you know, the football club in particular, because they've really done well. They've had lots of difficulties, and you've got to bear with them. Let's hope that next year they'll be top of that Conference League, into the 3rd division.
We hope.
We will.
Well, let's keep our fingers crossed for them. Tell me about some of the other instances. One of the other ones that's become quite well talked about is the number of councillors that have left the chamber on certain occasions. Perhaps you'd like to tell us about that.
Yes. Well, on my last council meeting, I decided to present some wooden spoon awards because there are certain members of the council that say things through the course of the year, and they really are quite stupid.
They live to regret them.
And they do. Well, I decided that this year I'd make it a fun award, and I gave it to the Liberals and the Tories, and they didn't appreciate the fun. But then, if they can't stand the heat, they shouldn't be in there, should they?
No.
As
I said before, I think you brought your own individual brand of humour and your own style to the year.
Well, the Tory actually got up and said that I run a council meeting like a headmistress. So I've not done bad, have I?
No, absolutely not.
And we've had early council meetings.
Does he not remember a certain lady who was Prime Minister of his particular party's persuasion who ran the government like a headmistress and didn't respond to that?
It didn't do her any favours either.
On that subject, what's your view on the results of the recent elections?
Fabulous. They were absolutely great. I mean, I'm really pleased with them. In 1990, we thought we'd hit the high. And of course, everybody said in 1994, no, you will not get them back. And here we are. We won the Upton seat by 11 in 1990.
And this year?
This year, 300.
Amazing.
It just shows you, it wasn't poll tax, it wasn't anything to do with anything else. It was actually that we are running the council efficiently and properly, and I'm very proud of the way we've done it.
Good for you. Would you recommend the mayoral office to anyone who might be considering a career as a mayor?
You can only do it for 1 year, because it's really, really tiring. It will absolutely exhaust you. Yeah, I'd recommend it. You get to know an awful lot of people who you probably wouldn't meet at any other time. So yeah, I'd recommend it to anybody. But you need time. Time is most important, because you don't want to let anybody down. So you try and get round to as many organisations, voluntary groups as you can. And I think it's the most wonderful year you can have.
Has it changed your opinion or enhanced your opinion of Slough and the people who live there over a year? Some bad press about Slough over the years, Sir John Berkshire,
over the years, yeah. But to be honest, I'm born and bred Slough. I'm quite proud of it. And there are certain people, and I won't mention any names, that say that it's boring, but it's actually not. Benjamin, if he came back now, I think he would change his tune and see Slough as it is, and do a year as mayor, and he'd see what's in Slough. And perhaps this silly man that's top of the charts at the moment should actually, yeah, well, I don't know about that Tony Mr. Boring, I would have called him, but there you are. He should come back and just do a week with me and see what he could see in a week. He wouldn't be bored, that's for sure, and I certainly aren't, because, I mean, it's an amazing year. So, yeah, I'm very pleased with it.
The incoming mayor is Mr. Ron Sibley. What advice would you give him prior to taking office on the 19th of May?
Enjoy every single minute. If you go out there with a negative attitude, you're going to get a negative response. Go out there with a positive attitude, and by God, they'll respond. And the people of Slough have responded to me. I've had fun. I think they've had fun. We've raised a lot of money together, and it's been a real good year.
It's been a pleasure having you as the Mayor of Slough for the last 12 months, Sheila. I think I speak for everyone here, certainly at WMtv, and everyone I've ever met has never had a bad word to say about you.
Oh, thank you very much.
Thanks for coming in today.
Thank you.
And good luck in semi-retirement from the mayoral office.
Thank you.
To the Royal Borough now, an application for poop scoop bylaws throughout the borough has been approved by the Department of the Environment. The new bylaws came into force in February, and they make it an offence for dog owners to allow their dogs to foul the pavements, footpaths or verges in the borough. Further bylaws will follow to cover parks and open spaces. There are already over 100 dog waste bins in local parks, and astonishingly enough, almost 13 tonnes of dog waste has been removed from these bins in the past 12 months, which proves that most pet owners are responding positively. Poop scoops are available at the council offices, the Tinkers Lane depot, and most pet shops. They're really cheap, so it's up to you. Keep the Royal Borough clean, and for that matter, everywhere else. All right, now then, to find out what's hot and what's not in the world of cinema, we need a man of wit, sophistication and elegance. So here's Terry Adlam to be going on with.
Thanks, Steve. WMTV's answer there to Anne Dye. Well, here we are outside the MGM cinema here in sunny Slough, and hang it, Trout, we're supposed to be inside. Bang on another caption, Doris. Welcome to yet another Terry Vision with me, Terry Adlam. Now, what have we on this month's Terry Vision? Well, an exclusive interview with Julia Roberts, an on-the-set report from the new Arnold Schwarzenegger film, and the announcement of the new James Bond. Are just some of the things we haven't got on Terry Vision this month. But what we do have Pick of the Flicks, Ram It in Your VCR, Missus, fantastic competitions, Hollywood hotlines, and a chat with you and your thoughts on who the new James Bond. Now, it's no use you lot sitting there. It's all happening up there on screen 5. So it's up the escalators, turn right at the first star, and carry on till morning. Now, if I talk about a film that's got 7 Oscars, 3 BAFTAs and 3 Golden Globes, then you know I'm not talking about Beethoven's Second. But what I am talking about is the film of the year, or even a decade, maybe even a century. Steven Spielberg's Holocaust horror Schindler's List, which is still playing to packed and rather emotional audiences here at Slough. We had a word with 1 or 2 of them.
Please. I thought it was very good and very moving.
Thought of the film?
It was fantastic.
Yeah?
Really good.
Did you think it deserved the Oscars?
I think it did, yeah.
Schindler's List is not the sort of film that you can say you've enjoyed. It's more about a film that you experience, and the experience is horrific. The film is all about atmosphere, and the atmosphere that Spielberg creates is absolutely spot on.
Very moving, very touching.
Now, I don't think this is one of Steven's best films, which will upset my ace reporter Susanna Green, who said that she thought it was one of his best films, if not the best film ever made. Now, I think it was the subject matter, as opposed to the technical and production values in this film, that made it so universally popular.
I thought they were all very good. I thought actually Ben Kingsley was excellent.
On the acting front, Liam Neeson was excellent as Oscar Schindler, but it was always up against Tom Hanks in the excellent Philadelphia when it came to Best Actor in the Oscar stakes. But I was surprised that Ralph Fiennes didn't pick up Best Supporting Actor, because it was great, his portrayal of the camp commandant, but he did get a BAFTA for all his trouble, so not too bad then.
Very true to life, yes.
I hope I sleep tonight.
I hope you... Schindler's List is a great film. Please come to the cinema and see it before it comes out on video, because you're going to lose so much on video. So do yourself a favour, come to the cinema and see it. See it or regret it, basically. OK, who are these talking about?
It was brilliant. Excellent.
Yeah? Excuse me, what do you think of the film, please?
Oh, it was fantastic.
Excellent.
Brilliant. Very, very good.
Did you think the acting was good?
Yeah,
Were they realistic?
everything. Yeah, brilliant.
Yeah, yes.
Especially
What
Paul
about-
McCartney.
And what about the American playing as Stuart Sutcliffe?
Yeah, brilliant. It was all
Would you have
good.
known?
No.
Were they better than Take That?
Yeah, definitely.
Yeah.
Definitely. Thank you very much.
Just who are better than Take That? The Beatles, that's who, and they are the subject of the new British, well done Sue, new British film called Backbeat. Now, Backbeat looks at the early days of the Beatles when they were playing in Hamburg, and in particular at Stuart Sutcliffe, the 5th Beatle, played by American Stephen Dorff. And it also looks at his relationship between him and this German fashion photographer called Astrid Kirsch, played by Twin Peaks star Cheryl Lee. Now, I have always been, and always will be, a Beatles fan, and so has our own director of television, Mr. Phil Love Me Do Chappell. Come on in, Phil. Come on in.
All the big stars, eh, Terry?
All the big stars we couldn't get.
Once again.
Actually, you can be my special guest star. Can you
Wow.
give Tom Cruise his bus money and send him home? Thank you. OK, Phil, what did you think of the film?
I thought it was very good indeed,
Yeah.
actually. It's one of the best films I've seen, certainly one of the best British films I've seen for ages.
Right, excellent.
In fact, I took somebody who was a Beatles fan, and they really enjoyed it as well, so you don't have to be a Beatles fan to enjoy the film.
Excellent. Now, tell me, did they use original Beatles soundtrack?
No, they didn't. They actually got some contemporary musicians in and re-recorded it all, although they didn't have any Lennon and McCartney tunes in it at all, because
Right.
I presume they didn't get permission. So what they did re-recordings of all the old tunes they used to do in the Hamburg days and the Cavern Club days.
So we're talking Dizzy Miss Lizzie and stuff like that. More Chuck Berry stuff.
All that sort of stuff.
Oh,
Roll Over
excellent.
Beethoven, you know, Twist and Shout, of course, which
Yeah.
is not a Beatles tune. Lots of people. A lot of people would get
Yes.
confused. though, don't
OK,
they?
right.
I think
OK,
that was
now you're...
1960.
Thank you. Mine of information. OK, now, you're doing a project on WMtv about the Beatles.
It's still going, yes, it's still going.
Tell us a bit about it.
Well, I'm still looking for the old people who went to the Adelphi concerts back in 1963, and
Right.
one thing I'd really like is some old memorabilia from the time. So any memorabilia from the Slough days of the Beatles back in 63, just right off to the usual Scene on 7 address.
There you go. Thanks, Phil. Back behind the camera.
All
Off you
right.
go.
Off
Right,
now.
OK. Thanks, Phil. No, that's the camera. Thank you. Right. OK, get out. Right, it's time to bung another 50p in the meter, wind up the old elastic band on the satellite, and it's time for the Hollywood Hotline. OK, it's Slough calling Hollywood. Come in, Hollywood.
Hello again, Terry. How are you?
I'm very well. How are you, my little showbiz person, you?
I'm fine, just about recovered from the post-Oscar parties.
You dirty little stop-out, you. But tell me, what did you think of the Oscars themselves?
This was my favourite year, all in all. I thought Hollywood seemed to be in touch with the outside world. The awards, by and large, went to films which made a difference. I liked that. As you know, I was surprised at The Fugitive getting the nominations in the first place. I was even more surprised to see Tommy Lee Jones getting Best Supporting Actor. My choice was Ralph Fiennes playing a German officer in Schindler's List. I'm glad to see he got the BAFTA. I guess it emphasises the point that the Academy voters look for what people have done over the years and not just at the year under review.
All right, off your soapbox. Now, what about the other awards? Anything there?
Well, I thought Liam Neeson should have won instead of Tom Hanks, and Emma Thompson was more deserving than little Anna Paquin. Otherwise, they went the way I would have voted if I had the vote.
What about Spielberg? Did you think he deserved Best Director? I think he's done better.
Now, I know you think he should have got Best Director for a previous film and not Schindler's, but I think it was a great opportunity to recognise the most successful director of all time for a film which means so much to him and to the world. He was my choice.
Fair enough, but I've run out of 50p's now, Al, so I'll have to say, love those shades, and see you next month, mate.
Pleasure, Terry. Talk to you next month.
Oh, well, the big showbiz news at the moment is who's going to play the new James Bond now that Timothy Dalton has hung up his licence to kill. Now, I made this my mission to go and find out who you thought should be the new James Bond, 007. Hey, any thoughts?
Oh, Mel Gibson.
You think Mel
Gibson?
Oh,
Mel Gibson, definitely, yeah.
Mel Gibson, that's the second person who said Mel Gibson today. Why do you think Mel Gibson?
Well, I don't know. He's quite nice looking, and that's it.
I think Mel Gibson would be quite good.
Well, it's got to be an English actor that's rather sophisticated.
Okay. Names have been mentioned. There's been Liam Neeson from Schindler's List, Bruce Willis, and Mel Gibson. Any of them take your fancy?
They're all well known for what they do as action films. They wouldn't be so good as a sophisticated like James Bond.
I'm not sure. I think Sean Connery should come back. I reckon no one does James Bond now.
Sean Connery? Sean Connery, that's interesting. Why do you think Sean Connery?
I know he's just good. Yeah. He's exciting.
Very exciting. And you think James Bond should be exciting?
Yeah.
Being Sean Connery.
Connolly.
Billy Connolly?
No, not Billy Connolly. What's the one on last night, 8:30? Mike...
Brian Connolly.
Brian Connolly.
That's interesting, going for the comedy thing. Yeah. Anyone a bit tougher? Someone mentioned Bruce Willis.
Oh, no. He's got to be English.
I think it should be Larry Grayson.
Oh, shut that door. Thank you very much, Ron. Back on sound.
John Major.
Mr. Blobby.
Mr. Blobby?
Yeah.
Oh, Blobby. That sounds a great idea. OK, so quite a choice there. My thought for the new James Bond, well, I think I might like Piers Brosnan, who was in Mrs. Doubtfire. He might make a good James Bond, but he'd have to go a long way to beat Mr. Connery, who was the James Bond. OK, Moneypenny, time for the next capsule. For your eyes only. Yes, it's competition. And the winner of the last television competition was Claire Williams over there in Taplow, who was the first to write in and tell me that village people had a hit with YMCA. Well done, Claire. She wins 2 tickets to come to here to the MGM Cinema in Slough to see a film of her choice. Well done, Claire. Now you could win 2 free tickets to come to the cinema to see a film of your choice. How did you do that? By answering this simple question. We've been talking about Backbeat, which is a film about the early life of the Beatles. Now, in the early days, the Beatles had a drummer called Pete Best, but he was soon replaced. And I want to know who replaced Pete Best. Now, you could write in or ring up WMtv with your answer, and you too could win 2 free tickets. Now, we've done Pick of the Flicks. Who? It must be time to ram it in your VCR, missus. OK, so let's not hang a trout and get straight into the Video Box Elmshot Lane Sippenham's Top 10 Video Rentals. At number 10 is Dennis Hooper and Nicolas Cage in a video I honestly don't know a thing about called Red Rock West. At number 9 is The Enchanting Secret Garden starring Maggie Smith and shot just round the corner at Pinewood Studios. Dragon, the Bruce Lee story, is at number 8, the biopic of that karate king of the 70s, Bruce Lee. Did you know that there's only about 235 chopping days until Christmas? Get those hankies out and have a good old sob over Sleepless in Seattle, the nice lovey-dovey movie at number 7. At number 6, Standing Firm is the Firm, starring Tom Cruise and Gene Hackman. New in at number 5, Val Kilmer and Kim Basinger in the awful caper, The Real McCoy. From the ridiculous to the sublime, the second biopic in this month's top 10 is the excellent vid Tina Turner, What's Love Got to Do With It? And you can win the poster of this movie in the next couple of minutes, so don't go away. Mel Gibson is the man without a face at number 3, and Sean Connery and Wesley Snipes are turning Japanese in Rising Sun, a cop thriller written by Michael Crichton, the man who wrote Jurassic Park. And at number 1 is Harrison Ford in The Fugitive. And The Fugitive was the video that I bunged into the VCR this week, missus. And The Fugitive was the video that I rammed into my VCR this month, missus. Now, as you probably know, The Fugitive is the big screen version of that cult 60s television series called The Fugitive. It stars Harrison Ford as Dr. Richard Kimball, who's been wrongly accused of murdering his wife. Now, it's while he's on his way to do his porridge that he is involved in one of the most spectacular train-bus crashes I've ever seen in a film. If you don't want to see the video, just rent it out to see this crash, and the special effects are absolutely wonderful. Now, Harrison escapes from the carnage and is on the run, and he's closely chased by Tommy Lee Jones with his Best Supporting Actor Oscar hanging out of his back pocket. Now, it's a great film, and it's nice to see Harrison back in an action movie after all these, what he likes to call men-in-suit movies. Now, The Fugitive is an absolute roller coaster of a thriller. It's great edge-of-your-seat stuff. In fact, when I went to see it at the cinema, I was so far on the edge of my seat, I was sitting on the woman's lap in front. She enjoyed it, and so did I. Right, OK, other films to look out. Sorry, not films, videos. Other videos to look out for this month include The Posse, Demolition Man, and Dave. Now, this month's video poster competition, I have here to give away not only the poster from Dave, The Posse, and Demolition Man, but I am also going to give away posters for The Fugitive, Mel, the man without a face, Red Rock West, which I know nothing about, and as promised, the Tina Turner, What's Love Got to Do With It? How do you win all these prizes? It's simple. You just answer this question. Now, in the top 10, there was a film called Dragon. Now, this is the life story of a very famous 70s film star. Now, all you've got to tell me who it is. Was it Christopher Lee, Rusty Lee, Bruce Lee, Lee Dixon, or Leon C? So send your answers into the usual address, and you never have to buy wallpaper again. Well, that's about it. Yet another Television signed, sealed and delivered. I'd like to thank Mark at the Video Box, Elmshot Lane, Stippenham. I'd like to thank Mike Plew and all his wonderful staff here at the MGM Cinema in Slough, Alistair Coy over there in Hollywood, and my special Beatles fan, Phil Chappell. Now, talking of Beatles, it's time to let it be and get back to that nowhere man who needs absolutely no help 8 days a week. So it's hello, goodbye from me, and hand you back to that boy, the indispensable Steve Brennan. We love you. Yeah, 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 yeah!
Oh, 10 out of 10 for innovation. I used to love the Beatles, now I'm not sure. Thanks, Terry. And Diamond indeed. And I'm happy to say that Terry's one-time co-star and WMtv presenter Keith Jones will be here live in the studio next week. As you know, I have a very keen interest in good food and wine, especially the wine. So I'm really looking forward to this next item. My final guest this week has just been awarded the equivalent of a gastronomic knighthood. The award by the La Confiterie de la Chaîne de Rôtisseurs is one of the highest accolades in the culinary world. So many congratulations and a very warm welcome to MasterChef Richard. Richard, welcome and many congratulations.
Thank you. Thank you very much.
It's a great honour to get this award. We've actually got a photograph coming up in a minute of you getting your award. How did you win it?
Well, we specialise at the restaurant with, basically with roasts. We do suckling pigs, baby lamb, baby kid, and the customers just seem to love it. So we carry on doing that sort of thing. And I was nominated last year. There was 3 nominations, and this year I was the one that was awarded with that particular award.
Thought no more about it, then all of a sudden there it was. We've got a photograph actually coming up of you getting your award. Have we? Oh, I'm sorry, I missed the... They've already seen the photograph, Richard. I wasn't watching. Yeah, can we have it again, please? Oh, thank you, marvellous. Now then, you've won this award, and it was a marvellous ceremony in London, conducted almost entirely in French, I understand.
That's right, yes. It was.
There's the picture there.
It was translated a little bit, But it was it's a very nice society to be on. It was basically in French. I had to stand there very straight. They gave me the knighthood, which was in French.
Very serious, solemn ceremony.
So, oh yes, I mean, it is. It's a wonderful thing to be awarded.
And to be recognised within your profession by other professions.
That's right.
Your origins are Spanish. Does that influence all your cooking or just some of it?
Well, a little bit it influences. I mean, I worked with my father for quite a few years, but I mean, it's very difficult it's my sort of style of cooking. You go to an English restaurant, you have English food, or you go to a Spanish or an Italian and Chinese, and you always specialise in that type of cuisine. At the restaurant, what we try to do is have French classical cuisine, but our interpretation, and we do other dishes as well. We like to mix and experiment with a few bits and pieces.
Where a classic dish is concerned, most chefs try to put their own personal, kind of their heart and soul into it. It's like a piece of music, isn't it? I mean,
that's right.
And you adapt it accordingly.
That's right. I mean, there are many dishes which are all the same. I mean, so many things you can do with one roast suckling pig, but one chef roasts another way, and
seasons
another
it
chef.
differently.
That's right. It all makes a lot of difference.
The British, it has to be said, I think it's fair to say, until fairly recently anyway, were not really considered top flight as far as cooking is concerned. But that's all changed now. I think that's fair. What do you think's changed? What do you think's happened?
Well, the produce, for one. I mean, travel has brought a lot of produce into the markets that many years we didn't have.
So it's more readily available.
Absolutely. I mean, you used to see a kiwi maybe on the in your greengrocers, and you used to haven't a
Just
clue what that was. And nowadays you have that. There's many things, many fruits, and chefs are experimenting with different ways. And also, as I said, travel. People are going abroad more. They're coming back and demanding to, and the thing just gets around. And chefs is what I say, they are experimenting a lot.
Do you think cooking's going back to basics, to use that dreadful phrase? It's getting very simple, but the quality has to be superb.
Yes, I mean, I think that's the best thing, the way to describe it. I mean, back to basics is basically it. You have your basic ingredient there, and you mustn't mask it, you mustn't overpower. If something is good, it's good. I mean, you can add things to it to enhance its flavour and to complement it, but you must keep it very, very basic.
Great ingredients, simply cooked, beautifully presented.
And very fresh.
Among those that we have here to look at, this is just making all their mouths water here, as usual when a cookery item happens. We decided against bringing in the whole suckling pig, so we didn't offend anybody. I'm sorry, vegetarian, but there we are. Can't help it. So, baby roast suckling pig, roasted in your own special way.
Yes. Yes.
And what would you? One of the starters that you brought along. This is a cold one, and we're hiding it.
That's right.
That's this one here,
which is a lobster terrine, which is made with fresh Scotch lobsters, a little bit of salmon, egg whites, cream, and just salt and pepper. And there again, it's not a lot of things in there. I mean, not a great big list of ingredients, but you've got the beautiful fresh produce there.
So why add anything to it, and why make it too complicated?
You just change it a little bit. Instead of having just maybe a plain grilled or boiled lobster, you've done something with it. I mean, we used to have a shellfish mousse on the menu before, and that's an adaptation of what we've done, just using the lobster.
Changes from season to season with the freshness of the ingredients, especially where seafood's concerned.
That's right. We sometimes do it with scallops, maybe a little bit of salmon, but I mean, that always is on our menu because it's something that the clients like, and that's what we're there for.
You're married with 3 children, I know you told me earlier. Who does the cooking at home?
Well, basically I do the cooking at home.
You don't really escape.
My wife Dina, she cooks sometimes on the weekends. I must admit, I do like cooking at home as well. I think because I do enjoy it, I don't mind it so much. My wife does do cooking. She does a lovely fry-up, which I must admit is one of my weaknesses. It's eggs and bacon with the sausages is wonderful.
Marvellous.
What a discredit.
Again, a simple thing,
exactly.
which British cooking was once sort of renowned for, a little bit maligned on occasion. But it's a great classic, very simple, beautiful, fresh ingredients. What could be better?
That's right.
If anyone came to our Alfonso's restaurant in Cookham Rise, we're going to put the address and stuff up a little bit later. What sort of meal can they expect? I mean, I've got a menu here, and it's just, I mean, I can't tell you. You've got to go there. You've got to go there, folks. I can't tell you. What sort of dishes can they expect to eat?
Well, they can expect a lot of. First of all, we deal with fresh produce, natural ingredients, a lot of local produce as well. The menus, the daily menus change basically daily. They can expect to come and have fine food served with flair, if you like to call it. But we serve the food, we produce the food that we like to serve, and we know our clients. That's right, we know our clients, we know what they like, and we'll do anything for them.
Obviously, you're at this incredibly high standard now, particularly with this award. How long did it take you to get to that standard? How long did you study before you became a fully qualified chef?
Well, I trained at the West End. I did 3 years at college, at Westminster College. I trained for 3.5 years at the Park Lane Hotel in London. I toured Europe. I visited many Michelin-starred restaurants in France before joining my family restaurant there. And
you've also won these awards. We're going to have a look at these now. Tell me about some of these. The one, go from left to right as we look at it.
Right. Well, the left one, the blue one, is the award for Regional Officer for Berkshire to represent the Epicurean World Master Chef Society, and I'm their Regional Officer for Berkshire.
The one in the middle?
The one in the middle is the Regalia, which is for Master Chefs, which is also I'm the International General Secretary for.
And the one on the right?
And the little one is from Hotel Olympia. It's for works in sugar work, for pastillage, which I won a few years ago.
Incredible stuff, the spun sugar and all that.
That's right.
Very, very popular, great big presentations now. You must watch MasterChef. Do you ever watch it? Watch the public cooking on BBC?
Yes, occasionally. I don't really watch a lot of television, being that Sunday's the day I have off, and we're at home either visiting relatives or just having a day for ourselves.
What's your overall impression of the standard of cooking in this country now?
Oh, very high. It must be said. It's very, very high. There's a lot of good names out there, but people tend to forget the little establishments as well. I mean, they think that they visit bigger hotels or bigger establishments, and it's the smaller restaurants that are also putting their fight for. I mean, if you see a little restaurant on a precinct, don't underestimate it. Go and try it.
Because you don't know. Yours,
well, exactly.
Chef, you've only got 32
so go try
seats in your restaurant?
32, that's right.
Perfect. Nice, small family. What could be better than a great, big, horrible, nasty, huge place? If anyone's watching, a young person was watching, and they thought, this doesn't look like a bad life. I think I could live with this. What advice would you give to someone who's considering becoming a chef? Well,
it's very important that they must believe that they are dedicated, really must enjoy it for a start from the very beginning. Another thing is that I would suggest that they would visit a college to start, so they would get the best information there, the lecturers are there, they can get leaflets on the subject.
And find out what's involved so they don't go on a misguided career.
Absolutely, they're the best ones that can guide them. Or drop me a line at the restaurant and I'll be happy to put them in a way.
Marvellous. Once again, I think we were all astonished at the award and the background that you've got. Many congratulations on the new award. If you'd like to visit Alfonso's restaurant, it's in Station Parade, Cookham Rise, and if you'd like to book a table and try this gorgeous award-winning cuisine, you can visit Alfonso's restaurant at this address, Alfonso's Restaurant, Station Parade in Cookham Rise. The telephone number, if you'd like to book a table, is 0628 525 775. That's 0628 525 775. Once again, Richard, many, many congratulations. Stay with us to the end of the programme. Now, before we sample the tasty treats before us, with a little glass of wine, I've just got time to thank all my guests this week. Andrea Orchard of Foster Care, the Mayor of Slough, Sheila Thorpe, and of course Richard Manzano, our Master Chef. Before we go, a fantastic competition. If you like country music and you might watch CMT, that's provided by the Cable Corporation, CMT and their promotions company have offered us some tickets for the Vince Gill Tour. It starts on the 12th of May at the Royal Albert Hall. These are the tickets. We've got several to give away. They're worth about 14 quid each. They're in boxes at the Royal Albert Hall. You must be available to go on the 12th of May, and that's on the evening of the 12th of May. So, if you would like to win these tickets, simply pop your name and address on a postcard and write to us at the address that's coming up at the end of the programme. In fact, there it is now, Scene on 7, WMtv, PO Box 7, Slough SL3 6ET. Do not call us on the phone number, as we won't be able to accept your telephone call. Please write to us on a postcard only, please. We'll draw them out of a hat, and we will ask you to come and pick the tickets up because of the time factor. Okay, if you would like to advertise on the Moving Magazine service, our free 24-hour service, or write to us on any subject whatsoever, we'd love to hear from you. The address is the Scene on 7 WMtv, PO Box 7, Slough SL3 6ET, or the Moving Magazine's answer phone service is available on 0753 811 817. I hope you've enjoyed this week's show. If you have, please watch us next week. I hope you've enjoyed it, and I will see you then. Bye-bye for now. Let's have a good day, lads.